You essentially can't make money and build a business without finding the right product to sell. And while the majority of e-commerce gurus tell you to find a product that is trending, the main problem with that is it's not a business that is sustainable in the long run, and let's be honest, you might not even be passionate about it. So in this video, I'll be sharing a more long-term approach to finding the right product to sell and the framework that I personally use to find a product that A, is sustainable over the long term, and B, is profitable. And so the framework that I use is the GUM framework. So we'll start with finding what you're good at, finding your unfair advantages, and finding a product that is missing. So if you want to skip around, feel free. But let's get into the video. So when we look at the first question, what are you good at? I actually want you to get out a journal and answer the following questions for me. The first question is, how do you spend the majority of your time? There are essentially a few different ways how you can find out how you spend the majority of your time, which can be tracking your time daily, but just think about practically, what do you spend the most time on during the day? Do you spend the most time going to the gym? Do you spend the most time working in a specific industry? Do you spend the most time taking your dog out for a walk? The next question I want you to answer is, what do you enjoy doing? For myself personally, I enjoy making YouTube videos. I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy eating healthy. I enjoy reading books. I enjoy journaling. So just write down or bullet point what you enjoy doing with your time the most. And the last question is, what do other people usually compliment you about? Also, another way you can think about this is, what are you passionate about? You know, what is that one thing that keeps you up at night? Because ultimately, the most important thing when you're choosing the right product is to choose a product that you're passionate about. If you want it to be sustainable over the long term, there's a great book, Start With Why. And the problem is, when you sell a specific product that you're not passionate about, you won't be able to sustain it over the long term. When we look at the graph of exponential growth, we see that the first period of time, usually it's the longest period, 3/4 of the time, is usually the time where you grow very little. And then subsequently, the last quarter of the time is the time when you experience the most growth. And that is why it's important to choose a product that you like selling and that you're passionate about. So the next part of the framework is finding out what your unfair advantage is. An unfair advantage is basically something you have been given or have inherently that other people might not have. For example, it can be experience, it can be money, it can be networking. For me personally, I love working out and I love going to the gym. So an unfair advantage for me would be that I know what the gym trends are in regard to clothing, and what the gym trends are, for example, protein shakes that you like, or weight belts, what would be cool and what would be new. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, but let's get back to it. So just a great way of finding out what your unfair advantage is by looking at your skills. For example, I'm really good at accounting. I really love fitness. And for those of you who watch a lot of YouTube, look what your homepage's content is usually about. If it's about cars, then you have an interest in cars. So just ask yourself the question, what am I good at and what is my unfair advantage? So now the third point is finding out what product is missing. And this you do by examining the first part and the second part of this whole video. So if you look at what you're good at, okay, I'm good at fitness, I'm good at sports. Okay, what is my unfair advantage? Because I'm in sports, because I'm in fitness, I know what the gym trends are with regard to clothing. So subsequently, what product is missing? In South Africa, there isn't a lot of great products with regards to exercise or gym wear for women and for men. And usually the problem with these products are, for a student, it is quite impossible to take out $800 for just a short. A great book that I read about the subject is The Millionaire's Fast Lane. And basically what he says in this book is, so use the skills that you currently have. If you're working a 9-to-5 job, what is it that is difficult about your job? What can you streamline, or what can you make easier through a product or through a certain service? And then solve that problem by finding a product for it. Because ultimately, if you want to make a lasting impact, and you want to make a lot of money, the trick is not to find products that are trending, but to rather find products that can help someone and that solves a problem. Okay, so this is the theory of finding the right product. What do you do if you want to find a product and see if there's actually a market for it? This is where MVP comes into play, which is the minimal viable product. And also there are a lot of great tools, for example, Google Trends, that you can actually go see if there's a certain demand for a certain product. So in regards to the minimal viable product, if you've identified what you're good at and what your unfair advantages are and what your missing product is, a big mistake that I made with my business is I went all into a product, and then what happened was the product didn't sell. So then you sit with all of your capital sunk down in the drain and you don't know what to do. So instead of sinking all of your money into one product, rather just buy a couple of them, for example 4 or 5 of them, and try and sell them and see if there's a market for them. If you do it this way, I can guarantee you that you find a product that you're passionate about and you can build a business with it over the long term. But if you're dabbling with the idea of starting an online store, the best advice I can give you is just start. And I've got a great book that can help you with this. The booklet covers 6 main stages of setting up an online store. So if you're interested in finding more about that, there's a link in the description of this video where you can sign up, and then I'll send you the PDF for free. Also, if you want to look at other business that you can start with zero to no capital, I have a great video explaining it, and I'll link it up here. But if you want to watch any of my other videos, you can either click here or here, but I'll see you in the next one.